What's going on, everybody? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel, and thanks for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, today I am so excited because I am getting a one-on-one live arena lesson with the top live arena player, Curzon. Curzon, how are you doing, brother?
Hello, bro, and thanks for having me here. I'm excited. I love to play arena and to talk about it even more. So when someone asks me to talk about it, I am really happy to do it.
I gotta say, like, you have brought in an awesome vibe for live arena. Like, just watching you, looking at the experience, the way you compete has made me want to actually start going on live arena and doing, like, I've got my little things that I do here and there to try to get like the ignored defense and the speed boost, because it kind of helps us in the Great Hall. But like watching you, it makes me want to like actually like try to push for it, right? I gotta ask though, like, how many hours do you take to prepare to just go in for a live arena for every week, like on Doc's account where you're playing?
A lot. There is so many champions to build and rebuild, and to constantly keep updating and upgrading the builds. Because people, now that I'm streaming, get used to what I show. I show every status of every champion on Dog's account. I am not afraid of showing them. I don't mind if people look at the builds and know what speed I'm using, what status I'm using. I don't care. I think it's part of the game. And but when that happens, I cannot play a lot of time with the same build because people will get so used to it and use it to my playstyle. Yeah, on my own account is the same as you. Every time the figure removal comes, I rebuild everything that I want or try something new on the things that I got in mind. But for Dog's account, I cannot do that. I have to do it more frequently. So every week I try to at least change 2 champions build. So I have something new to present. People are getting used to a speed boost to Lazarus. I change it to a Nuka. People are used to a Stone Skin Siegfried. I change it for immunity Siegfried and things like that. So at least I have 2 surprises per week. And every 30 days, sometimes even less, I change a massive amount of champions. For last 15 days, I changed 25 champions on Dog's account to bring them to the new meta and things like that. Adjustments.
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of work for one game mode right there. You said you work full time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't your full-time job, so you spend a lot of time doing this. Let's talk about the current meta, right? So I had you go on my account because I really wanted to get some help with live arena. I wanted to try to push it, and you took a look at my champions and my builds. So I guess my first question is going to be am I going to be able to be in the meta trying to climb into, let's say, like the top 100 or as close to it?
Yes, you are. As I said before, constance is a really important thing while doing live arena, because having the gear, having the champions is very important, but playing constantly, it's very important because you're gonna get experience, and sometimes that makes you win battles that you are going to lose based on champions and gear. So experience will bring you higher, and when you have some amount of gear, some amount of champions that you do have, and the constance, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there definitely.
Okay.
But you need to play.
Okay, so I got to be a little more consistent about it. Let's start off with, how many champions do I need to build? Is it just a small group, or should I look to be, building 30, 40 different champions on the account?
No, if you build 30 champions, you're not going to use half of them. So I think 15 champions is the highest amount of champions that you're going to use. You want to have at least 10 for the usual picks, and 5 to be picks that are surprise or champions that you like. Champions that fit your playstyle is very important, because there are champions that are all out of meta, but you like them.
Right.
You like them. You like what they do, so you can try to play them. There, there's nothing strange about it.
So basically, what I've usually always done is whatever my 3v3 teams are, is what my main arena nukers and stuff are going to be. Those have usually my best gear on the account. So continuing with that kind of mindset is something that's going to is something I should keep doing. Then let's talk about champions that are currently in the meta. What do I have on the account that I should be focusing on that possibly I haven't been?
Okay, just taking a look here on your screen, you have 3 mythicals that are top of the top of the top. Alas, probably having a 6-star Alas. He
Okay.
can be a massive nuker, one of the best in the game. He can kill a mountain with his A2 and be very annoying with his A3. And there is also the second form that can save you sometimes.
Okay.
So the power this champion have is very, very consistent. And he's one of the few champions that can destroy champions like Nice and things like that because of the amount of damage he can do with the A2. Not many champions can kill a Nice from a single skill. And Alas is so strong that he's one of them.
Okay.
His A2 is massive, and you got a 6-star on him, which brings a lot of status.
It's
A 6-star
actually
mythical.
it's actually funny. My son was sitting on the couch and we were watching TV and he's like, Dad, could I pull your one remnant? And he pulls the remnant and this is what he pulls me. And I had a 5-star soul sitting there and I was so excited. Like I started squeezing him. He's like, Dad, you're killing me. You're killing me. But he was actually my first mythical pulled too. So I'm glad to hear that. Okay.
Your son was very lucky.
You know, a lot of people say that he pulls, like when he does shard pulls where we're just sitting around on one of my alt accounts, he just pulled me an Acrizia. He pulled me a Wallmaster a couple of weeks ago on this account. We're sitting there. So yeah, he does some crazy stuff with some of these champions that he pulls, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know. Like I would let him do the shard pull videos, but he just pops the shards real quick, and it's like no reaction, no nothing. He's just like that. So
But at least you want what you want.
That's true. That's true. All right. So allows what else do I have that I should be looking to focus on? Crixia.
Crixia is one of the strongest champions in the game. She's one of the candidates to have your best speed gear,
Okay.
and you should probably have it on her by now, if I remember correctly.
Yep. I currently have her at like 393. How fast is that in the current, meta that we're in? Am I way out of that?
No, she's good. She's in the a little bit slower than the top 100 champions.
Okay.
For the top 100, in the bottom of the top 100, you're gonna see 420, 430 speed. On the top, 460.
Okay. Damn, that's crazy.
But yeah, these are 6-star plus 4 champions.
Right. Okay.
So
that makes sense.
if she was 6-star plus 4, you already got 430 on the same build you're showing right now.
Okay. All right. So Crixia, so with her, I'm just kind of looking speed and then accuracy. Is there a certain threshold that I should be looking for the accuracy when I go to rebuild her?
I think the minimum is 400 because she
400.
already got 20% of the resistance. So you might be able to take the skills of almost every champion with 400 and something, and the 20% resistance ignore. But if you can go higher without losing speed, go higher.
Okay. Okay. What other champions would I be looking for?
And use pinpoint on her. It's very
Pinpoint.
important.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to get polymorphed on the first champion. You
Okay.
try to
So
debuff.
4-star pinpoint or 4-piece pinpoint minimum.
4 minimum.
Okay. All right. What else should I be looking for? I hate Armand's because he's just so toxic, and that's why he's kind of naked
but
here.
if you want to climb the arena, you're gonna have to beat him because he's mandatory right now. Unless you're facing one of the top accounts that will for sure outspeed you, and your Armands won't even play. If you're facing a normal account and you have the first pick, Armands is the best option.
Okay.
no doubt. Because not only because you're gonna play with him, but because your opponent's not going to play with him, is more important than not having him. Is not letting your opponent have him because he's so annoying.
Okay. Fair
He's
point.
so annoying.
Fair point. All right. What other champions should I be? Is my Taurus Marichka, my Tarichka still in the meta? Should I keep them?
Even more now than ever. They were
Okay.
the meta, and they still the meta.
Okay.
Not they were the meta together for almost a year. They were dominant, but right now Marichika alone is the probably the second best pick in the game. The best pick right now is Comidus, and I think she is the top counter to Comidus, so she's automatically the second best pick in the game
Okay.
for almost everyone. So if you're facing the meta bomb again, and we are leaving this bomb of meta, and she's the natural counter to that, and she brings so much utility because she counters all the bombs just by existing with her passive and all her kit. It's so impressive that you lose nothing by picking her. She's always good. She's always a viable option. And if you play her and Taurus, you can always be dangerous. Always.
All right. What about, the original meta for a while was the Sifi and Rotos. What about that? Is that still kind of working together?
Yes. Together they are a powerful couple, one of the strongest. Alone, they are also very strong and champions that you need to take care of. But as a speed boosters, Tiffy is one of the fastest champions in the game. No doubt. Her base speed is incredible, her kit is incredible for that. But the speed boost she gives is a 10% speed boost. And since everybody's using a lot of speed, 10% is not enough to you play first and to bring your next champion to play after her. So right now, if you have to choose between Tiffy and any other boost that can go closer to her speed and has a higher speed boost, for example, Arbiter that you're showing on the screen, if you can go near Tiffy's speed, I think it's better because the 10% speed boost is not enough right now. Not enough. The
Okay.
30% from Arbiter is more trustable.
All right. So it sounds like I got to build my Arbiter way better because this build is not working out. 338 speed. Honestly, I had her sidelined for the longest time. I wasn't using her. I guess the last question on like the builds or the champions themselves is I put so much work and effort in Carnage, and is he actually even usable at this point in the top end of Arena?
In the top, you're not going to see him a lot, but not because the champion is bad, but mostly because of the affinity. Right
Okay.
now, most of the strongest champions are blue affinity. Half of the picks on the meta are blue affinity, and he's a green affinity champion. So
Gotcha.
he lacks on that for being a core champion. If he was red or blue, probably he would be more picked and more consistent about killing champions. But
Okay.
being green is hard. It's hard right now on the meta because the amount of blue champions you got. For example, if you're facing Siegfried, that you need the hits to kill or to land the debuffs to kill him, and you have 30% of failing everything, it's too much risk.
Okay.
If you have a Comidus on the other side, you're gonna have the same problem. If you have any other of the magic affinities that we have right now, like Ancora and things like that, it's very annoying for him to deal with.
Talking about playstyle, you said that your playstyle, Doc's playstyle, my playstyle would be all different. I guess how does somebody go to determine their playstyle? Like for me, what would I say? How should I kind of start looking at building my playstyle of what I should build?
Playstyle is about affinity. is the possibilities you have, the champions you got, and the ones that you like to play, and you have the best gear and possibility for them. For example, you have Taras, that's a top nuker. You have Alas, that is a top nuker. You have Rotos, that is a top nuker. You have Marius, that is a top nuker. You have Wukong, that is a top nuker.
What about King Narcissus? Is he still
Narcissus is also a top nuker.
okay?
And even the dwarf mythical one, it's really impressive nuker at my opinion. Now Frony, it's
Yep.
been one of the champions that I play the most. For example, Narcissus. Narcissus is a champion that you almost never are going to see me pick, and it's not because he's weak. For au contrary, he's one of the strongest champions in the game. He's really into the meta. He's really powerful, but I almost never pick him because of playstyle. I do not like the style of the champion and things like that. But don't understand me wrong. He's so powerful. It's just personal choice. When I got him and Taras, I prefer the white bearded old man over him. When I got, for example, Frony and him, I prefer Frony over him. And
Okay.
things like that. That's my playstyle, but it doesn't mean the champion's bad.
I guess I really like the ally attack, right? So I usually pick my Lady Mikage, and I try to go with my Cardiel,
Party.
who are pretty much the two fastest champions on my account. I think they're both sitting at like 385 speed. And so is that like my playstyle, like the double ally attack, is that a viable playstyle? Usually I try to pair them with like the Alaz and the Taras.
It is, but right now we have a lot of stone skins in the meta, so you need to have a threat to the stone skin, so
Okay.
it works better. Otherwise you're just going to hit the wall,
Okay.
and not necessarily you're going to kill the wall or destroy the wall. So, for example, the possibility of having these champions is slightly slower, but with supersonic, and a champion that can remove things faster than him is something that can improve that.
Okay.
For example, you have a Crixia faster than these two champions
Mm-hmm.
that you actually have, and you have these champions going next. So you have the chance of removing the stone skin or removing something that is bad to the attack, and then you got the attack. But if you
Okay.
have diesel attack as your fastest champions, you need to be prepared to hit the wall many
Okay.
times.
All right.
There are champions that can go through the wall, but not many. Georgie is one of them.
Okay. So I do have my Crixia faster than both of them. I made sure that, because she does give the buff strip and stuff, I was like, I have to,
Yeah.
I think I might learn how to play the game just a little bit, But you mentioned Stone Skin. You mentioned that that's a real big thing now, and it has been for a while. So, and that you also, when we were talking off camera, you said that the meta right now has really shifted towards speed. So how would I guess make a team for that? What would I be looking to do?
You need champions that play fast and can do something when you play fast. For
Okay.
example, Kuritsu is one of them. If you have the first turn, you're gonna try to remove things, remove abilities, and that go over the stone skin. Champions like Georgie can also go through the stone skin. Champions like the Wukong can remove the stone skin. Bomb champions, a lot of them. One of them on the meta. Astrolith is the one of the hardest one to use because it's a single bomb champion. So a single target is not the best one right now. If you're going to build one specific nuker, it should be your Lord Shazar that is +3, or
Okay.
your Ganishrak.
My Nishak or my Lord Cesar. Okay.
Yeah, because they can put AoE bombs and detonate them in the single turn, and that makes you win easily.
Okay. So Lord Shazar and Nishak are gonna move up on my order on things to build. I guess one of the things I really have a hard time doing is finding the right time to play, because it feels like at reset time it's like all the krakens, all the whales. Is there a particular time that fits better, or that there's less likelihood of facing some of the really crazy end accounts to try to build up to myself to
There
get to
will,
that?
there will be crazy accounts every time the
Okay.
live arena is open. Because there are Krakens that only play sometimes. There are Krakens that play all the time. For example, Husk's account, Cartman's account, Dog's account will play most of the reset timing because they are trying to get the maximum amount of points available. And these accounts play 3 out of 4 sessions per day.
Wow.
And you're gonna face them a lot. You're gonna face them a lot if you're climbing to the end. But there is also a lot of players that are not crazy whales, and you're gonna see them playing constantly. You're gonna face them a lot of times, so many times that you're going to get used to what they are playing, their play styles, and
Okay.
to remember what your opponent uses and how their champions are built is a very necessary thing to do, and gives you so much advantage. When you know the speed level of your opponent, you can play with. For example, when I am on Dog's account, I know that there are players that are a lot faster than Dog. So when I face them and they start with a speed boost champion, I said, okay, I will not try to speed race him, because I will lose the speed race and I won't have champions with the amount of necessary things to do to survive. So automatically I changed my playstyle to a go second team, or to a cut team, or something to avoid the speed combat, things like that. So that's one thing that comes to you when you play regularly. You know,
Okay.
you're gonna know your opponents. You're gonna know how their champions are built, or at least have an idea.
Okay. So the more consistent I am about playing, I'll learn my opponents, and then okay, I getcha. You made a very good point right there, where knowing my opponent's speed, and if I know that I'm not going to beat them on the speed meta, then play my go second team. And I guess I hadn't even thought about that, because again, I don't push Live Arena as much as I would love to. But how would I, looking on my account, what would I do, like, for a go second team that would give me something to give me a fair
Mariska,
chance?
Mariska is the top one pick for that,
Okay.
no doubt. She's so safe about going second. Champions like UDK can give you a lot of safety too, even more if paired with champions that can revive, for example, Wukong, or champions that are hard to kill in a single attack like Rotos. They can take a hit without dying so easily, and that's give you the opportunity of playing. Leorius also works.
Okay.
Uh, that's give you the opportunity of maybe surviving the first wave of damage and debuffs and things like that, and having the opportunity to play. But you need to build these champions to be able to do it. You know, it doesn't. If you're planning to a go second team and nobody's in immunity, Pharaoh, Stone Skin, shields, bolster, and anointings to your opponent like temporal chains, blessing. You want to disturb your opponent. You don't want your opponent to do all the movements he's planning to do. So a lot of resistance, a lot of speed, even on a go second team, you know. So
Okay.
they are expecting something, and you came up with a thing that they are not expecting, or many things that even if they are expecting, they don't have how to handle everything at the same time.
All right.
And that's how you be the go team that has a high success rate.
Okay. All right. So I guess a couple of last questions that I have is, I mean, I've been trying to build my champions for arena wise, like nukers, at around a 250 speed, and then depending on whatever their main stat is that a good speed for me to stick with, or should I try to hit higher?
Yeah, right now, since we are living the speed meta, this is the minimum.
Okay.
250 speed is the minimum for everything. Everything. Nukers is the minimum. Support, I think even higher, to 290, 300 is the minimum for the supports. And I've already saw nukers on the top builds that were over 400 speed on the
Over
nukers.
400 speed.
Yeah,
What?
I saw Georgie do 410 speed and 8k attack and 380k critical damage. So right now, the speed meta is so intensive that even the nukers are into it. You know, if you face a 400 speed Georgie, he's going to outspeed your crits here. So the champion doesn't even need a speed boost to go before you. And that's how incredible some people got their builds into some champions. It's not easy to do, it's not common, you're not gonna see often. But when you face this player and that happens to you, you're gonna have in your mind that, okay, speed against this guy, I cannot win. I need to prepare to play second.
Okay.
And the Pharaoh set, for example, since we're living a bomba meta, Pharaoh set is a very interesting set because it's the only set that can put immunity on 4 pieces, and it gives you the opportunity to have another set bonus that's very impactful. For example, Savage for the nukers or Stone Skin for supports without losing the immunity. So the arena market value of the Pharaoh set skyrocket. At the same time, he gives you speed and accuracy. That's everything that you need for many champions.
Yeah.
He gives you the opportunity of having the immunity.
Wow.
So
Okay. There is a lot to talk about then, huh? I thought that this was going to be like a pretty simple, like 20-30 minute, like, hey, you know, do this and this and this, but there's definitely a lot more into this.
If you want to talk about arena, we can go 5 hours and there's still be room to talk more.
Well, you know, I would love to, but I think 5 hours might be a little too much for a lot of the viewership there.
Yeah.
I guess what advice do you have for me to just kind of like what would be the first thing I need to do, I guess, on the account? Would it just be rebuild the champions, or just kind of continuously play arena just to get used to it?
Okay, you're gonna first select the 10 to 15 champions that you see that you have most compatibility between your gear, the stats of the champion, and your playstyle. What's that? For example, you have a 6-star Alas. If you have good defense damage gear, he's a champion that is on the meta. He has a great affinity. He has a great status because of the 6-star blessing and things like that. And if you have the crazy gear, if it fits your playstyle, it's a must-have for you. It's a champion that you must build and you must play, because you can extract more things of the capabilities of what you can do and what you want to do. You know, I like my Stautus so much. He's an incredible champion. But when you face off an Alas and a Stautus, you're gonna see 99% of the time Alas is going to do more things than Stautus. And they have the same basis. They are both defense-based nukers, red affinity, with self-buffing, the increased defense, AoE attacks. But the performance of the Alas is better overall. So you're gonna choose between that. So you're gonna extract the best gear of these two champions and put it on Alas.
Okay.
So you have your primal champion. You're gonna make that for 15 champions, and that's gonna be your core choices. So after that, between your core choices, you're going to start to build up strategies. Like you have one pick or you have 2 picks on live arena. So you're gonna start thinking, if I got 1 pick, what I can do, and I go in the sequence that there is a link between these champions. Or if I go for 2 champions at the same time, can I do a strategy between these 2 champions? If everything fails, at least I got these 2 champions link. For example, Taros and Marichka, UDK and Wukong, Tiff and Rotos, Narcissus and Ankoro, the couples. Or the unusual couples like Harima and Tiffy, Marius and Harima, you know, things like that. I don't know if you forgot her name. I
I
think you
don't.
don't.
I don't. I've been chasing her for so long. She evades me.
It's just
She
an
evades
example.
me.
It's just an example. I'm going to tell you another example that you don't have. Arbais and Carnage. Champions that fit together very well with combos. And that makes a difference. That makes a difference. It doesn't matter if it's Dog's account, if it's Husk's account, if it's Cartman's account, if it's Val's account, the top 5 guys right there. If they're facing a Wukong and a UDK and they do not have the right champions, or they have a bad moment between the skills, Wukong and UDK can win the battle.
Okay.
You know, a good strategy sometimes can can be overpowered against some other strategy. For example, fun thing, the Teox team on the Classic Arena that you put Ramantu, Furion, Teox, and Lazarius is one of the craziest strong teams in the arena. You can farm almost every team in 6 seconds. And
Wow.
today, I was talking on the Discord while I was climbing the arena on Platinum Reset, and I faced a single Narcissus. A defense with only 1 champion. And I used this team that I farmed almost every top player with these 4 champions, and I faced a single Narcissus and I lost.
Wow. Okay.
Because when you put the HP burn to burn the stone skins, there was only 1 champion, so the HP burn wasn't enough damage. And he kept the stone skin, I do not destroy it, and the Narcissus won against my 4-man team solo.
Wow.
And this happens in Live Arena too, that you have a combo between 2 champions that can endure the 4 champions of your opponent because the synergy is so good. Taros and Marichka, UDK and Wukong, Rotos and Sifi, UDK and Rotos, and that goes on for a lot of combos that are possible to do.
All right.
But
all
you
right.
have to try to explore the best you can. You have Marius out there. That's a really, really incredible champion, one of the best in the game.
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick my, my 15s. You gave me a lot of great suggestions, and then I'm just gonna get into it and just start playing, whether I win or lose. Right? The experience is the key.
Yeah, it helps a lot. It helps a lot. You're gonna know how to handle some situations that you got there. That if you just was sitting there thinking you know everything, you're not going to know how to handle. You're gonna be able to predict some moves in advance that can make you win battles because you predicted that. And that's the difference, that some battles makes you lose or win based on experience.
So experience is the key.
One of the keys. It's a 4 pillars. It's gear, it's champions, it's experience, and choice making. Oh, there is a 51 that nobody likes. It's RNG.
Oh man. All right. Based on that last one, Kirsten, I want to say thank you so much for coming on, for helping me with this. I hope that soon I'll make you proud, and your coaching helps me get to that top 100. I would love to have an even longer discussion on this. I do want to ask you, is there a shout out you have for me for somebody out there?
Let me think about it. Okay, there is a Brazilian content creator called John Loco. He's been doing content for some period of time. He speaks Portuguese, but he has a really fun content. So if anybody could help him to get access to content creator official program, giving him a subscription or liking his content, I would suggest to do it. He's a really fun guy with helps a lot the community. So it's John Loco one his name. I will write down for you.
All right, he will be. We'll link his channel in the description below. Make sure you guys go give him a follow. Make sure you guys go give Curzon a follow as well too. Just I love the energy, love the vibes, love everything you do with Live Arena. Just again flares up the game mode for me and really wants me to play. Again, thank you so much for taking the time. And
thank you for having me here, bro.
Anytime. And you know, we would love to have you on the podcast too as well on Sundays.
Sure.
Guys, thank you all again for checking out the video, and as always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys next time.